Do you guys remember how long it felt like it took to get 60 woodcutting, or maybe if you ever got to 60 woodcutting? But the first time, like when you were a kid, how impossible it seemed to ever be able to chop yews, and you felt like anybody who could chop yews has to be rich, right? It's impossible to get to them. And then magic trees, that was an absolute myth. But this is non-member stuff. Magic trees, that's some of that members garbage. I actually vividly remember a friend of mine, just my friend group that played RuneScape. He was the first one to really get level 60 in anything, not just woodcutting, but none of us had like 60 attack for dragon weaponry, which again, members filth. We can move on from that. He was actually at my house the night that he did it, and he was basically a woodcutting pure for a while. He would chop willows at the lake in Lumbridge and then just light them on fire to get some fire-making XP too. And it took him forever to get it, but I mean, it took us forever to get any levels. And he actually started chopping yews, and we were so disappointed at how goddamn slow it is right at level 60 woodcutting. And even though that is the case, I am on the verge of getting 60 woodcutting myself, so I think I am going to move right on to yews because they are going to make more money, even though it's going to be fairly slow XP-wise compared to willows. I don't really care much about the XP from this point moving forward when it comes to woodcutting. I'm just going to chop some yews to get some money. There's actually a lot of yews that I could chop, and we'll discuss that when I actually head to the Grand Exchange, sell these logs, and start getting on that. So it looks like I'm going to have about 80k to add to the cash stack after the wood cutting so far, which really isn't terrible, but I'll make a lot more getting onto the yews. There's a lot of yews in the game that I could chop. The simplest ones are right here by the Grand Exchange, just behind the Varrock Palace. I imagine they're going to be fairly packed when I get there, but there's a lot of worlds to work with. Shout out to Jagex when they added all those worlds a few months back. They added a ton of them, and that has really helped with overcrowding. Sometimes there's still problems and whatnot. I'm not here to complain about that or anything. I'm just saying it might be a little crowded, we'll see. But there are some other solutions for me if it's kind of too crowded. For one, there's other spots that you can chop yew trees, including one that you unlock with Dragon Slayer, which I am going to want to get Dragon Slayer done in general, so I'll probably end up doing that. I think the biggest thing, it doesn't look too crowded back here. This doesn't look too bad. I think the biggest thing is going to be unlocking like the 500 total level or even the 750 total level world. But having any of those total level worlds would be huge because I constantly see like 80 to 100 people in there. There's no way that like 10% of those people are on these trees back here. That just seems very unreasonable to me. Anyways, I'm going to get a lot of wood cutting in. Definitely get a hop worlds when I need to because this one is already empty. But as I was saying, I'm going to chop a lot of yew logs, probably AFK to like 65 wood cutting or something, and then I'll move on to some other ventures for this episode. But this ought to make some decent cash for now. I didn't make a ton of cash in the last episode, so I'm hoping to get to the point, maybe right around a 1 mil cash stack during this one. Hey, man of my word, here is 65 wood cutting. This is almost exactly 1,000 yew logs chopped, which is going to be like 280k or something. But before I get into that, let me run over to the Grand Exchange. I'd say I made it safe and sound to the GE, but it was actually a pretty short run from there. That's one of the nice things. Not only am I a short run from a bank, but the bank is the Grand Exchange. This is going to be some decent cash. This looks like over 800k. Get out of here. I do plan on doing more yew logs in the series. In fact, I'll probably even do more in this episode, but I won't make a big deal out of them. 290 coins a piece is a little more than I thought. 857k is a pretty good looking cash stack. What I'm going to move on to next isn't going to make the same GP per hour, but we'll still be making a little bit of cash. I want to do some combat though. I do think my combat level is plenty high enough to be killing some hill giants. I assume these are going to be really crowded too, but the yew logs were really too bad, or the yew trees I should say, so maybe these aren't terrible. I did grab my brass key so that it'll be a much quicker bank trip, and this world is like basically empty. Look at this. I can't imagine this is always the case, but for now, I'll take advantage of it. Hill giants are not an insane moneymaker. The biggest thing, I mean, the big bones, every drop is going to add up. The limpwort roots like 1k a piece. I would like to see some giant keys because eventually I want to fight Obor, but I'm not super close to fighting Obor anyway, so that'll be a little bit of a bonus for now. The first goal here, I'd like to get 40 attacks so that I can actually put on my rune skimmy, and then I'll probably stay long enough to get at least 40 strength and see how much money that makes me. Just got my first giant key on the account. I don't plan on fighting Obor right away, but without a doubt, I'll get a couple of Obor KC, unless I get really unlucky and this is my only key. But I imagine I'm going to get a couple more while I'm training. So far, so good on the hill giant training. Insert Mr. Mammal joke here, and I'll keep working on 40 attack. Totally missed my 40 attack clip, but it's alright. I still have 40 attack now, and I can go use my rune skimmy. So let me KO this last giant. I don't need to attack you, sir. Get me out of here. Get those big bones, and I'm going to head to the bank to grab my rune skimmy. It's always nice to get the weapon upgrade going to increase my XP rates a little bit, because now 30 to 40 attack like wasn't too bad of a grind, but now I know not only do I have higher attack level but a better weapon for 30 to 40 strength, so that's obviously going to be a little bit faster, and I'm definitely going all the way to 40 strength here. I think I'm going to make a little over 100k from these, which is really not great cash per hour, but I'm also going to be collecting hopefully more giant keys. I only have one right now, but that could add a little bit to the profit because it doesn't take too long to kill Obor once I get in there. This is my second book I'm getting in the account. I totally used the first one on attack while I was getting 40 attack, like an absolute fool. I'm going to want to use this one on prayer. There might be a more efficient free-to-play skill, I guess, to use it on. But for now, prayer is the one skill that I want to have higher prayer, but I don't want to spend the money on it. I kind of thought about magic because I feel the same way. I want to get some higher magic levels, but I don't want to buy any runes. But I'm definitely going to stick with prayer for right now. It looks like this will get me 10 prayer, which is one level higher. Oh boy, I'm not really unlocking anything great, but having a few prayer points to work with would be nice. I could start flicking my offensive prayers at least to speed this up a little bit, but it's a little overkill. About to wrap up my hill giant life, 40 strength, and we're gonna get on out of here. I got 2 giant keys overall, and that limpert root on the last drop's kind of nice. I definitely picked up a few people's like big bones and limpert roots that they weren't picking up because they'll add up a little bit. So this is gonna be a little over 100k when I go to sell it, I believe. Honestly, I'll probably come back for hill giants. I want to get more than just 2 keys for Obor. I think it'd be really cool to get the club, but in general, just Obor's regular drops are really not bad for cash. But I'm not going to do any more hill giants right now. I don't even think, I'm not going to even do any more combat for right now. I think 40 attack, 40 strength, still sitting at 20 defense. Even 36 hit points there is all looking pretty good for now. So I will stop my combat binge currently and go ahead and sell some of my hill giant stuff. These really aren't meant to be an amazing moneymaker, but they're also super low requirements, so I don't have any issue with that. But it looks like this tab is 124k-ish. That's really not bad. This is going to bring me pretty close to a mil. Let me go ahead and sell these. Get back to you in a second. And that'll just about do it. 75k from the big bones is the majority of the money. 124k. I don't know exactly how many hours this took me, so it was probably only like 25, 30k GP an hour. But I also am up to 40 attack and strength, which is going to be nice for future combats. And look, I'm almost at a mil total. You may have just spotted in the bank that I already have a few U-logs already. So actually, if I sold those, I would be at a mil. But we're going to move on to other things. I'm not even doing any U's yet. I brought up questing in some way earlier in the episode. I don't remember, but that's what I'm getting to. Let's do some questing. This is arguably the fastest quest to do in the game. Doric's quest. What do I do? I want to use your anvils, sir. You just got to bring him these items, and if you already have it with you, you barely have to go through anything. And you complete the quest right away. It's beautiful. This will put me at, I believe, 10 mining. We'll see in just a second. 1,300 mining XP. A few coins that would have been nice. Maybe I should have done this slightly sooner, but the coins, it doesn't make a huge deal. The 10 mining I like, though. I do plan on doing some mining moneymakers on the series, but not right now. Next quest, we have Demon Slayer. This is actually going to have 3 quest points, which is kind of nice. The Silver Light is not going to be very important for me, probably at all, in any free-to-play anything other than just doing Demon Slayer. But there's the end of that quest. 3 quest points, thank you very much. And I think I'm going to do Imp Catcher next. I said Doric's quest was arguably the easiest free-to-play quest. That's because Imp Catcher also exists. You can just show up with the beads and you're good to go. It costs like 6k to get all the beads. This is going to get me a couple of magic levels actually, and I'm also in the middle of doing rune mysteries, so one whole quest point's kind of meh, but this is going to put me at 8 mage, and I'm almost done with rune mysteries here too, so doing alright on the quest points. About to complete rune mysteries. Like I said, you probably knew this was coming, but this is going to unlock rune crafting in general. Rune crafting is not an amazing moneymaker for free to play. It's a little bit better if you could do like nature runes, for instance, but this also unlocks my ability to mine essence, which does make money, even though it's not great. So I'll dip my toes in the essence mining life. I believe rune essence actually sells for a little bit higher than pure essence. It's kind of a supply and demand thing. The only people that need rune essence are non-members players, but they're also like the only ones who mine it, unless anyone in a members world is mining it with under 30. It's weird, but I'm not even doing that right now. We're moving on. Missed the clip on Goblin Diplomacy, rest in peace, but this is a quest that gives 5 quest points, which is kind of nice. Other than that, the reward was kind of garbage, but I'm up to 19. I do need 32 to do Dragon Slayer, but I'm going to quit the quest binge for right now and move on back to some actual money making. Here's what the current cash is looking like. This is not everything, obviously. I do have some rune items and whatnot, but 1.1 mil if I were to sell my U-logs is pretty good progress. In fact, I'm going to go back to some U-logs right now and probably be ending the episode with this clip. Last time I sold the U-logs, I had 1,000 of them to sell. It was like 290k, so if it lands somewhere between 250 and 300k per 1,000, maybe I'll do 1,500 to 2k this time. It'll be right around 500k when I sell it, and then I can move on to some other money makers in the next episode. After that point, I'll probably drop woodcutting for at least like this bond. If I end up doing a second bond, I'd be willing to do more woodcutting. But so far, so good on this. Also made some progress in the combat levels again on this episode. It's been a lot of wood cutting and combat, I guess 2 episodes in a row now, and a little bit of questing involved. So I'll be moving on to different skilling things and I guess higher level combat stuff now that I've gotten some training in. And I'll probably be doing some more quests in the next episode because I do want to get Dragon Slayer done and I need a few more quest points. But this is going to wrap up this episode, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.